From Tampa Bay's #1 news station, this is Good Day Tampa Bay.
All right, 6:47 is the time. We want to check in with Charley Belcher. Good morning.
Good advice there, Vanessa. Yes, indeed. We drove to Sarasota this morning, and quite foggy out there. And some people are freaking out, and they got their hazards on. And you definitely want to give yourself a little extra time on the roads today. You doing all right this morning?
Yeah.
Probably busier than normal?
Hump day. We're actually not as busy as we've been the past few days, which is good. And I'm going to cross my fingers I didn't just jinx everything.
Yeah. Hopefully it stays that way. I have a great, quite colorful morning for you this morning. Just look at the artwork behind me. And we don't normally get to see this end of the process. Oh, isn't it incredible? We don't only get to see this end of the process. Normally I'm at an art gallery somewhere showing you an exhibit. Well, this is an artist getting ready for an exhibit. Her name is Dasha, and actually we met her up in Safety Harbor at Sit and Tell Galleries many months ago as she was doing something there. But she's getting ready for another art show, and leave it to an artist to create me a sign so I would not get anything wrong. Andrea Dasha Reich is her name. She's known as Dasha. The show is Flying Colors, which will be March 4th through April 1st of this year at Aufstadt and Contemporary. That's the name of and that's not a typo. That's what they do. They put the ampersand right next to the Aufstadt and Contemporary, and it's at 1419 5th Street, Sarasota. Look at that.
That's
you want
so
me to make sure I get something right? This is how you have to. Ready? Turn to the left. Turn to the right. There you go. But Dasha is an amazing woman with an incredible story. Only been an artist for the last 20 years, and it's her second career. After she was in the fashion industry, because she's a fashion designer, and she's a fascinating woman. I can't wait to show off of this art and how she does what she does, incorporating resin on canvas. It's incredible, and it's art you can touch, which I always like it when they let you touch it.
Nice.
And it's going to be a very colorful good day from Sarasota.
I love it. Pretty colors. Can't wait. All right. Thanks, Charley.
Hey, Charley. Sorry. Hello. Sorry.
My turn to talk.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
No. Every time it gets a little quiet, I think, I wonder whose turn it is. Oh, it's mine. Good day, everybody. I'm in Sarasota this morning. From the giant and colorful to the tiny and colorful, all beautiful, all so artistic. It is the work of Dasha, and we are lucky enough to be inside Dasha's studio. There she is over there creating already at such an early hour. She is an interesting, wonderful woman, and honored to be in her studio where the magic happens. We're going to explore a little behind the scenes of a Sarasota artist as Good Day Tampa Bay has a quite colorful morning.
Hey, Charley, we'll get over to you right now.
Hey, that doorman was told, if the fire marshal comes in, we have too many people in here, don't let anybody in. And he was just doing his job, right? Sure. TMZ had interviews with some of the rappers who were in there, whose party it was, and they all said, Paul McCartney was here? Wait, what? Paul McCartney? We would have let him in? Oh, my God. I think they were very embarrassed that Paul got turned away. We all get humbled now and again. To me, I know the feeling. Look at this. Tools of the trade. This table looks like a work of art in and of itself. But these are just an artist's tools, and we are inside the artist studio, and you will meet the artist when Good Day Tampa Bay continues. Let the vibrant colors by Dasha get your day started this morning. Good day, Tampa Bay. I'm Charley Belcher, coming to you from Sarasota this morning, hanging out with the wonderfully, beautifully talented Dasha. Andrea Dasha Reich, to be exact, the full name, but everybody knows her as Dasha. And you are originally from
Prague. Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. Yes. When did you come to America?
I came in 1966.
And you were in New York City. And you were in the fashion industry. You were a fashion designer.
Yes, I was.
Did you have your own line of clothes? Or?
I had even my own store on Madison Avenue.
Madison Avenue?
Yes, Madison Avenue.
Look at you. But it was the late 90s, and you said, what I really want to do is create, and I'm not creating enough.
Well, I was taught being an artist. I studied in Jerusalem in Academy of Art called Bezalel, and I was trained as an artist. But to make money, I entered the fashion industry. But my love was always art. That's what I always wanted to do, and I was lucky at a certain point. I said, that's what I have to do.
And that's a true artist who says, look, I may starve to death, but I'm going to create. And you didn't starve to death. You had you got in a gallery in New York City, and
in Soho, which was they gave me really the start.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and I was very lucky there. Yes.
Well, very talented there.
Well, talented, but I call it lucky.
No. Luck would be if I turned out something like that. That is pure talent. You're known for your colors. You love big, bold colors. You work a lot with resin.
Yes.
How do you describe your work?
I would basically say it's dimensional and it's sensual. It has something that people want to touch, so it's kind of exciting, and I love them to touch. They could touch it if they want to. I like to create something that has some kind of emotion on you, that you respond when you see it. That it's not basically just a wall that you pass by, but that you kind of stop and say, what is that? Yes.
Well, Dasha is getting ready for her show that's coming up in March at the Altstadt and Contemporary Gallery here in Sarasota. So we are going to show you what she is putting together for this particular show. She's going to give us a little behind the scenes on how she creates, and we get the honor of being surrounded by this beauty and hopefully help you make it a good day, Tampa Bay. Good day to you, Alcides. The artist Dasha, known around the world for her bright colors. So you might be surprised to know that this is her piece that she's working on. Actually, this is finished for the next show she has coming up. Why the lack of color? And how did she do this? We'll answer both those questions. Stick around, everybody, and have a good day with us.
And bright and colorful paintings framed all over this gallery's walls. Charlie takes us to the studio, and we'll hear from the artist behind all this beautiful artwork.
Good day, Tampa Bay. I'm Charlie Belcher, coming to you from Sarasota, from inside the studio of one Dasha, who creates incredible, usually big, colorful works of art. That's what she's kind of known for right there, which is a resin, really thick, heavy piece of art. Right, Dasha?
Yes, complicated.
How does it start? Where does the inspiration begin in this great studio?
Well, the inspiration is something had to hit you. It could be something that I just found outside, which is a beautiful pot. I have no idea even what the name is. But something like that gives me inspiration, the darkness and the lightness, and I get very excited.
There is art everywhere, isn't there?
There's art everywhere. And then, you know, I do lots of sketching. Some of them I use, some of them I don't use, but sometimes it helps me just to begin ideas.
And that looks like a miniature version of some of your work.
So I use, I use acetates to get some ideas. So it's all, all comes. It's a photograph, something I did. Another thing I'm planning, I'm putting it on a clear paper, or we can go, anyway. Here is the inspiration from an artist that I like a lot. Again, this is something I did before.
I like it.
I get all
and then it moves into this stage?
Yeah, usually I make it even thicker, so it becomes more actually clearer. This was something that I had to do a commission for somebody, and it actually ends up in a finished product here.
And so then the show you're getting ready for is March 4th through April 1st at the Altstadt and Contemporary Studio. A gallery on 5th Street in Sarasota, and the theme is three-dimensional?
Three-dimensional, yes.
So tell me what these are. This is the resin you normally work with, right?
Yes, it is. I basically found a resin now that I can mold, which is very exciting for me.
Can I pick this up?
Yes, you can pick it up.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's
I like how this...
Be careful, yeah.
I don't break it.
No, that's all right.
Break it, you bought it, I can't afford it. This has like a 60s tie-dye, little psychedelic, to me. That's what I would...
Okay, well, you can call it anything you want, from rainbow to strata colors to anything.
Yeah.
For me, it is just an exciting element of color play, shadows and light.
Would that hang this way? Would it
anywhere?
sit flat?
It could be actually directly on the table, or it could be put on a wall, but it's up to you what you will do with this. It's just and somebody can put even light behind it.
Yeah. All right, you got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Now you are known for all of your colors, great colors. Even this is the different version of what you're working on.
Yeah, this is the new technique now that does not have as many layers of resin as my other work.
And that's actually on a canvas.
And this is on a canvas, and I call it fusion because I basically mix my other elements that I used to do with a new element. So I'm fusing a few different things.
I love that piece.
And it has, again, the interesting effect of everything.
But now this is almost shocking. For a Dasha piece, I mean, you would think that no color would not be shocking, but this is kind of shocking for you.
Yes, I know. Charlie is challenging me here. You know, I cannot explain this. I definitely have not actually a word, except the inspiration that I got from the Michelangelo famous Pietà, that, you know, the holding of Christ, the death of Christ. And it's something about it that moved me tremendously. I had a book of photographs of it, and something really excited me about it. It's kind of religious, something very spiritual about it.
It is. It looks like
fabric.
Linens and yeah,
exactly.
But there is like a spiritual quality to that.
It is. I think this is very spiritual, and that's why people react on it very much. Anybody who sees it in the studio gets very excited about that. It affects people the same way, actually, as it does me, something spiritual about it. And I do have to go back again into this famous Michelangelo sculpture that was the inspiration.
That's the way you can manipulate the resin.
Yes, and this could be how, this is, thank God for this new resin, and this could be again put on a wall.
Yeah.
You know, you can put it in any different shape. And again, it has these beautiful shadows, you know, that you create, almost like really fabric would have. So the resin is amazing.
The show she's getting ready for, Flying Colors, even though that's no color there, March 4th through April 1st. See, Dasha made me this sign, so I would not mess any of it up. It's a brilliant idea. She's a brilliant artist. And actually, Dasha credits her success not necessarily being in New York at the right place at the right time, but having a business mind.
It was helpful.
Yes, yeah, very helpful. The business mind comes up with this. When we come back, Russell and Laura, we're going to get into the room where she actually plays with this resin and creates from resin. Kind of show you a little bit about how she does that.
Okay, looking forward to it. See you then.
All right, let's get over to Charley Belcher right now, who's painting the world all kinds of fantastic colors. Good morning.
Yes, indeed. Dasha is the artist here in Sarasota who loves to work with resin. She is creating works of art like that for a new exhibit coming up here in Sarasota. And she created this masterpiece. Look, you worry about me breaking things? I could not, even I couldn't break this. I can barely lift it. That is quite a work. Resin cube with other resin pieces solidified in there. Kind of looks like it's floating in there. Many layers to create this. It's gorgeous. We'll see how she does it, kind of, when Good Day Tampa Bay continues. Good day, Tampa Bay. I'm Charley Belcher coming to you from Sarasota this morning, hanging out in the studio of one Dasha, internationally renowned artist. There she is over there, showing us a little bit about how she works with these particular resins. You're mixing up a little special Dasha recipe there?
Yes, absolutely. I'm cooking right now.
Now, are we okay in here not wearing masks or anything? I'm surprised it doesn't smell.
Yeah, well, this particular resin is not as poisonous as the other ones I'm using, so this is just for the show.
Okay, all right.
Anytime you're using a resin, you should have a mask on.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
But this is just for a small.
This is just for TV purposes.
For TV purposes.
Sure. Why protect the schlub reporter? Okay.
Yes, okay. I'm just going to right now, just, you know, so it's a liquid material that at some point becomes hard, of course, after a certain amount of time. You know, it's like being in a laboratory, you're experimenting all the time.
Right.
So right now I'm putting pigments in it, which maybe takes a little time, but okay.
It's all right. Little paint. Now, what kind of... And if you don't want to divulge any of your trade secrets, that's fine, but what sort of paint is that?
This is a pure pigment.
A pure pigment?
Yeah, it's very expensive paint.
Is that like an oil-based paint?
Yes, it's oil-based. Okay. Very good, Charlie.
Well,
it is oil-based.
I know just enough teenagers.
I made a very light kind of a mixture right now because, you know, it takes time to develop colors and everything.
Sure.
But right now I can walk over there.
Come on over, yeah, sure, come on over.
So I just wanted to show how, you know, I pour it in all different ways, but right now I am doing something which I wanted to work on, which I'm really painting.
Look at that.
So
and while you almost make it look random, I know you well enough to know that while there may be some randomness to it, you have
random.
You have a finish line in your mind, though.
Definitely.
You know what you want to accomplish.
No, it's you have to have something in your mind because otherwise it could look amateurish. You know, that you really need to give it some thought before you do anything.
Because that's the thing. I look at this and I think, oh, I could do that. I could do that. But the reality is, I couldn't do that.
No, I mean, there are people who use resin, and obviously you've never seen anything like that.
Right.
So it takes time to figure out what you're doing.
Well, and then
if you can go into these kind of things, and coming up with paintings, and then I go into something like this, I have to know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, and this is just one piece. This will be probably put together with another piece and layered.
It's going to be hanging. Actually, this is going to be hanging pieces. We call them the kite tails, and they'd be hanging.
Oh, wait, here. Let me.
Yeah, they'd be hanging.
Hold
Be
that up
careful.
with me.
Yeah.
Just be careful. She says that to me before she hands me her very valuable collectible art. Look at that. So that's kind of cool.
And it's going to be moving, because it's going to be hanging. So it's so we call it kite tails.
You put that back before I.
Okay.
And then this is. I can pick this up, right?
Yeah, you can pick this up. Yeah, it's just being made.
That was like hang on a wall like that.
Yeah.
But I love the three-dimensional of it. The show is called Flying Colors and will be March 4th through April 1st at Alfstad and Contemporary, which is a gallery on 5th Street in Sarasota. When we come back, you show me maybe some of the other things you're gathering together for this particular show.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for demonstrating that. I know artists don't like to give away any of their trade secrets. And by the way, this took like forever to make.
Yes, it did. Forever.
Russell, that's amazing.
Yes,
so
it
heavy.
is.
I mean, that's resin.
How does it taste?
It's complicated to do.
But how does it taste?
No, don't eat this resin.
It looks good enough to eat. All right.
Don't eat it.
Man, I wish I could do that.
We've been advised.
Don't you wish you could do that? Wow. I know. Give all this up. Go do that. You and me.
Give up show business?
See you later, man.
And then Charley's up next with the makings of a masterpiece. He's at Dasha Gallery, and that's coming up next.
We're having a good day, Tampa Bay, here in Sarasota, hanging out with a lovely woman, an incredible artist. Her name is Andrea Dasha Reich, to be exact. She's got a show coming up at Alfstad and Contemporary Gallery, March 4th through April 1st. It's on 5th Street in Sarasota, and it's called Flying Colors. And you say the theme is really three-dimensional art.
3D art. Definitely.
So you're trying to come up with different ways to bring your art off. You're kind of known for this behind me, the resin, which is really
multi-layered.
Multi-layered. It's really three-dimensional in itself.
It is. But now I'm going further with that.
I like what somebody on Facebook said, every time you pick up one of her pieces, she gasps. so you're touching this one, not me.
Okay, right.
What is that?
Okay, this is tubing. It's of course it's a tube, but it's a painting, all right, that I rolled into a tube that's going to be eventually hanging on a ceiling in many different ways at the Alfstad Gallery, and I'm sure they're going to curate it in a very interesting way. I don't even know what they're going to do with it, but it's really fun.
These are some of the other works that you were preparing for the show, and this is something that's just now in progress. You don't know what that's going to be.
No, I have no idea, but I hope I'll get ideas soon because I'm planning to have it at the show, so I better. And there are some of the pieces here, that they are still going to go for the show. And then you have the three-dimensional things that you've seen in a few places already. Yeah,
I do. I love that one there. And then
you have this one over here.
That may be one of my favorites, Dasha, because I like the difference between the no color and then the color with the three-dimensional.
Yeah. And here it is we call it a dispersion. And I call it like cherry picking because it looks like lots of cherries here.
I think it's fascinating that you let us in here this morning. We're kind of seeing your process in your studio, and that you have a piece and you go, I don't know where that's going. So you don't. Yes. When you start, you don't necessarily have a finish line.
You have a general idea, okay, but sometimes the material itself leads you somewhere because it's such a volatile material and things happen to it. So I can start with something, but it could end very differently. But there is in the head always something how I hope that it would look like. So it's kind of fun thing to do that.
Thank you for sharing your workshop with us.
Thank you, Charlie.
I appreciate it.
It was real fun.
Andrea Dasha Reich, everybody knows her as Dasha. I encourage you to go check out her exhibit anywhere you happen to see her being shown. If you go to fox13news.com, we will link you to her Facebook page. You have a website too, Dasha?
I have a website.
Okay, cool. We'll get all the information and link it at fox13news.com. Russell, lovely lady, beautiful artist. Beautiful lady, lovely artist.
All of the above. Great. Thank you. That was fun today. Very pretty. Very pretty. Thanks.
Good.